This wraps up Devlog 0 of my game. The current placeholder name of the game is The Endless Dungeon, although that's subject to change. In this closing part of the video, I'm going to state the schedule that I plan to keep with these Devlogs. It's going to be a bi-weekly schedule with the week off actually working on the game. I lied. Welcome to Devlog 1 of my 3D roguelike game. Before we begin, I should probably address where I went these past 4 months. Well, being honest, school completely obliterated me, and I had to stop working on my game for a few months. But it's summer now, and I'm back, and I'm going to be working on my game a lot more. As I've said before, I'm going to be using the 3D model software Blender to create the models for my game. But I've never used Blender before, and it's such a daunting task to learn a new software, so people would question, where would you even begin with such a thing? Well, after doing some Googling, I found this YouTube channel called The Blender Guru, which teaches you how to make a donut while learning all of the basics of Blender and 3D modeling. Now, it took me a long time to finish this tutorial. Yeah, over 6 hours, dude. So here's a bit of a sped up kind of montage-y thing of me making that donut and learning Blender.
And things that I find in the 3D industry. So if you want to keep up to date and learn new things, you can subscribe to that in the description as well. But that's it for this one, because we have covered quite a lot of ground. So we'll keep it simple. And yeah.
Honestly, I'm pretty happy how this donut came out. It's definitely not the greatest donut out there. I mean, it's my first attempt, but I personally got what I wanted out of the project. I learned the basics of Blender, and I feel like my modeling skills are going to improve, which they have to, since I have to, make all of the character models and probably all of the models for like furniture and other things, which I haven't really thought about, but I do want to make that too. Overall, this was a great first experience with Blender, and I can't wait to keep on making more. Due to personal reasons, I live between two houses, meaning that I can't always work on the game on the same computer. Luckily, I have a laptop in which I can work on the game, but then that leads to the question, how do I transfer the files between the two computers? Let me introduce you to GitHub. GitHub is a lot of things, but it's mainly a website that developers of all types can use to share and collaborate on projects. So this could also mean I could use it for my two computers. After watching a tutorial by Brackeys, I set up a GitHub repository and got the desktop app. After setting it all up, it works, mostly. There are still some issues where when I open up the Unity scene, it doesn't load anything, but I'm working on that and I have a few workarounds. Speaking of which, so I have started working on the actual game in Unity itself. Although it's very basic, it already has a player, a third-person camera rig in which it can zoom in, movement, and a dash. While everything is still a placeholder, I think it's a good start. Not only that, but I thought it was a good idea to make the basics of, like an enemy character. So I created a small little cube, and then by following some tutorials online, I used Unity's built-in navigation AI and had the cube follow the player. Experimenting with this feature was really interesting. You basically make a navigation mesh on a plane, and you can set some parameters for it, but it'll basically have the AI use that as a way to find the quickest way to its set destination. In this case, it's the player. But if you then make a nav mesh with an obstacle in it and set some parameters for that, it also will avoid that, which I found really interesting. Although I'm not really sure how I should continue to use this AI, as I don't know really the extent of what this can do. Can I make it attack? Can I make it do other things? What I need to do is make the AI stop at a certain point and then attack the player, though it's impossible right now as the enemy and the player don't have any help. As of writing this script, this is as much progress as I've made on my game. From this point on, I have an idea of what I should add next. I should add a pickup system, a inventory system, begin weapons that are actually just spells since it's a fantasy game, finish the player model and animate it, and learn how to use AI. Some of these are easier than others. Like, I think I can make a pickup system and the first like weapon or spell fairly quickly, although modeling and inventory and AI are things I have very little experience with, and not to mention that I haven't not even begun fully working on the lore of the game. Like, I haven't even begun writing it, though I think that'll come later, since I think I should get the mechanics down before I work on story. For now, this is my to-do list that I hope to finish by the next devlog.